As more and more children are carried into emergency rooms with gunshot wounds, the medical community is coming together to say enough is enough.
10 News reporter Rena Nakano spoke to surgeons with the Pediatric Trauma Society today who are calling for an urgent intervention. Rena.
Yeah, this intervention needs to happen right now, they say. They told me that the firearm injuries are the second leading cause of death for children. And of course, it is preventable. And that's why they're advocating for education, change, and policies at the public health level.
With their rifles drawn and heads on a swivel, deputies escort students at Saugus High School in Santa Clarita, the latest location of a deadly school shooting. Just as law enforcement and educators are speaking up, so is the medical community.
There's no more of a horrible feeling than to tell a family that their child is now deceased and no longer can play.
Vanderbilt Children's Hospital Surgeon-in-Chief Dr. Jeffrey Upperman says this hits home. He's a longtime resident of Los Angeles County who just recently transferred to Tennessee.
I could have been one of those trauma doctors in the Bay.
He's in San Diego this week with more than 500 medical professionals at the Pediatric Trauma Society, or PTS, conference, learning about the latest medical treatments that focus on the care of injured children. Dr. Peter Masiakos is speaking about the effects of gun violence.
We all know that it's far better to act on the side of prevention instead of acting to fix the wounds.
He says too many kids come into the ER with gunshot wounds via homicide, accident, or suicide. He says new federal policies need to be enacted to protect them, just like the seatbelt legislation and the fight against tobacco.
We have to engage the community in the same way that C. Everett Koop did almost 40 years ago, when he identified an issue of smoking and mitigated that.
They say school shootings are no longer just a gun issue, a school issue, or a law enforcement issue. It's a public health crisis.
As physicians seeing what we see, we are in our lane. We talk about the issue of gun violence as though we know what it is. And people need to step up and figure out a way to fix this, because another Santa Clarita is not acceptable to us.
And they say change starts small at the family level and also at local and state engagement. In the newsroom tonight, I'm Rena Nakano, 10 News.
Thank you, Rena.